Hello my friends, and welcome back to another live programming video. Today we will be continuing with the ongoing series Road to Regex Rule Matching. I think this might be the final installment in this series, or so I hope. So we last left off at a point where we were not able to do a commit because some things were still broken. So I took a look at this morning and I thought, rule of threes and everything, if you're repeating something 3 times, you should probably extract out a function. So we had this stuff here repeated a whole bunch of times. And the only thing we were really changing was the vec of identifiers we were going through. Sometimes we went through manage identifiers. Sometimes we went through float identifiers are around here somewhere. Taking me a minute. Here we go. Here are the float identifiers. And so, the logic is the same, right? We're checking the matching strategy and we're matching appropriately with the details of the current window against these identifiers using the strategy defined. So I decided to try and extract a function out of this, a should act function. So I'm going to uncomment this. I think we can probably do away with this as well. Let's comment that. Let's just return should manage here. I have bacon up on this side. Wait, which side should I like this side. This side's fine. So we can take a look at the should act function. It takes the details of the current window, the title, the executable name, and the class. Am I passing it in that order? Yes, I am. Then we have identifiers. This can be any identifier list. It can be for the manage rules, the float rules, for any of the rules. And then the regex identifiers. These are the compiled regexes stored in a hash map. And so now we have this kind of generic should act, should do the thing, which gets returned as the bool return type. So here we had managed override. Let's clean this up a little bit. So we don't even need to scope this anymore, Like we can have regex identifiers here, and we can just have let managed override equals should act. And that is completely valid. Awesome. Let's do the same sort of thing here for the float identifiers. So we have the perma ignore classes, I think, but these remain hard-coded because they're perma ignore. They're handled at the source code level. Here we want to do something with float identifiers, so we'll do should act. And this takes the title, the executable name, and the class. Then we take a reference to our float identifiers and to our regex identifiers. And this should be the return value. Oh, wait, no, should float. So we get float identifiers up here. And then should float can be the return value of should act. And we only need to get the lock on the regex identifiers once. So we can get that right at the top. And this no longer needs to be mutable. So this should make things a little bit easier on us. So when we left off, we had some comments here. To do, migrate me, migrate me. Border overflow, actually, we should have done something here as well. I think the border overflow was in border. So I think we can use this should act function here also. So should, we probably need to make that public so that we can see it from outside of this file. Yeah. So we can import this. Yeah. We can import this with title, exe, name, and class. And then border overflows and regex identifiers. And this is going to be let should expand border. I believe. I hope this doesn't break everything. All right, that looks a little bit cleaner to my eyes. So we can remove some of these imports that we no longer require. Uh, 113. We no longer require this one. And okay, that looks right. So now we can go back to layered. Why don't we start with layered? So we need to change this to ID with identifier. And we can copy paste this into here and just make it identify an executable with steam.exe as the ID, and we use the matching strategy equals. So we have some more errors to work through. Process command, as we said last time, we're not going to make any changes here just yet because we still need to figure out how we're going to deal with the requirement to add another flag and how we're going to be able to do that, hopefully with some kind of default, which will not break existing configurations, dynamic configurations. So our identifiers are going to be the layered whitelist. We're gonna pull in the identifier from the message because it was previously being sent, but we just weren't doing anything with it. And we're gonna default to this legacy matching strategy. So that is one of them. Next, we head on over to the static config file, line 560. So it seems like we're doing something similar here. This now needs to be a mutable ref. And then I think the rest here looks good. Yeah. I think that looks good. Then we go on to the application-specific configuration part of this. And I believe this again is a case of copy paste. So we look at the entry and we give it a matching strategy of legacy if one is not identified. And then instead of going to the border overflow, we're going to the layered identifiers. And if we don't have that identifier, we push it, which means that we can get rid of this string-based one here. And then, of course, if the matching strategy is a regex matching strategy, we will compile that regex and we will insert it into that hash map lookup. We move back to the window file, line 619. We should be able now to reuse our little function, our should act func, and allow layered is going to be should act against the layered whitelist. How's that? And then we have to, of course, update the state. So window manager.rs, line 128, layered whitelist is now going to take ID with identifier. So yeah, that is the migration complete for all things layered. So we can change this to done. I guess we can do object name change next. Object name change on launch. Damn, this is a little bit ugly. How did that happen? All right, let's keep it like this. So object name change, this is going to change also to ID with identifier. That's not what I wanted to paste. This is what I wanted to paste. So we need two of these. One is for Firefox and one is for idea64.exe. Now let's take a look at where things have broken. Process command. I will grab this and head over to line 939. Grab the identifier from the socket message. Object name change, nice. We'll default to legacy. And oh, it's already updated. Static config, line 552. Again, we can reuse this here. We just need to make sure that this is a mutable reference to this vec. Ooh, something's a little bit different here, isn't it? No, it's not. It's just the IDE taking a moment to catch up. So we will need to change this to layered identifiers. Oh no, not layered. This is object name change. My bad. Right? Just like it says here. Object name change identifiers. So we can get rid of this legacy version that relies on string matching. And then we head down once again to the application specific configuration handling. Okay, so this is going to be object name change identifiers. Then we are good. We need to update the state struct. Name change on launch. ID with identifier. And, oh, interesting, something in window manager event. Object name change. Okay, so this is how this is used. Some apps like Firefox don't send object create or object show on launch. This spams the message queue, i.e. object name change, but I don't know what else to do. On launch, it only sends the following Win events. So this is Firefox, this is JetBrains. If anybody out there is working on Firefox or JetBrains, please just send object create or object show. It will make things a lot easier, a lot easier for me. All right, so I think we can reuse this should act function here. Should act, let's pull that in. Ooh, we can... How did we do this on the border? Yeah, we do it like this. So why don't we copy all of this actually? Head back here, undo my changes, and pull in these. So we'll grab an import for the regex identifiers. We've got the title. Is it acting? Do I have a window object here? Yes, I do. So then we import should act, and instead of border identifiers, we have object name change on launch identifiers. So I'm gonna call this should trigger this event, and if should trigger, then we will trigger this event. Otherwise, we shouldn't. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. I guess we were using .ok for a reason. Don't know what that reason was, but okay, I guess. Probably something to do with, oh, it's because this function doesn't return a result, it returns an option. So we use the okay. Let's get this up. So you guys can see, converts from Rust type error to option type. And these are generic parameters, so result is generic over type T and error E. And this basically throws away the E and converts to an option generic over type T. So that's looking good. That is looking good. Which means we can set this one also to done. Very nice indeed. And now the biggest one, I think, the second biggest one, which is tray and multi-window identifiers. So you need a couple of these. So we have Explorer. We have Firefox. We have Chrome. We have Idea 64. We have whatever the hell this is. I don't even remember. But it's probably needed. And we have Steam. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. We should, of course, change this to ID with identifier. And then we can check out these errors. So let's just grab all of this. 957. Oh, we're right here. So it's not should. Oh yeah, it is still should push. So we'll pull in the identifier that we were previously ignoring from the socket message. Our identifiers are now the tray and multi-window identifiers. Then we loop through. And if we should push, we do push. Then we just get rid of this old one. Process event has incompatible types. That's a new one. Process event. I knew there was a reason I left this to last. Okay. Don't really want to do this. Right, we'll go to static config because I know there's stuff we need to do here. That's at line 603. We can do this and just make sure that we're updating tray and multi-window identifiers instead of border overflow identifiers. Should at least bring the error count down. And then we go down to line 708. And we do this. So same thing, we're just updating this to tray and multi-window identifiers. Right? Right. Window manager, we have an error there related to the representation in the state. So yeah, we have no more vec of type string on the state. So let's head over to process event. So what is the background here? Some major applications unfortunately send the hide signal when they are being minimized or destroyed. Applications that close to the tray also do the same and will have is window return true as the process is still running, even if the window is not visible. Yep, I remember that. So we don't want to purge windows that have been deliberately hidden by us, i.e. when they are not on the top of a container stack. Yeah. So I don't think we can reuse for this because we... Or can we? Or can we? So that should act equals should act. We'll import that. Grab the stuff that we grabbed last time from border. And we can bring all of these in, except it's not border overflows, it's tray and multi-window identifiers. And this is going to be mutable. So the new condition is going to be if... Alright, well, we'll do all these on separate lines so that it's a bit easier for me to keep track of. So we're going to do if window is not a window, and we'll do hide equals true. So if window is not a window, or should act, or programmatically hidden HWNDs does not contain the HWND for this window. How's that? Well, we got an error in static config. Let's check that out. What the frick? Oh, we forgot to make this mutable. Alright, so we'll handle that one. And now we have unnecessary parentheses. Is that also unnecessary parentheses? Let's see. So I just need to think through this for a second. So if window is not window, okay, is the same as this, then these two lines plus some other stuff with, you know, the different kinds of matches should be encapsulated in this should act. And then if the HWND of the window is not in this list of programmatically hidden HWNDs. I think that's right. I think. We'll find out. We will find out. So it looks like we don't have any errors. Let's check Clippy. We have 6 warnings from Clippy. Cognitive complexity, I don't think we can get around that, to be honest. 1, 2, 6 in window. Set position. We can do something here as well with the border overflows. We can let should remove border equals should act on the title, the executable name, the class, the border overflows, take a reference, and the regex identifiers, take a reference. So that should deal with that warning. Yeah. Now, should act has the cognitive complexity. It's just moving around complexity at the end of the day. It really is just moving around complexity. 5, 4, 7. So we're gonna allow here Clippy cognitive complexity. Then function has not much I can do about this really. Too many lines. Writing reference to vec instead of reference to slice involves a new object where a slice will do. Okay, that makes sense to me. So instead of that, we'll just take a slice. And here, 556, we do not need to iter anymore. Okay. That is a lot of work. Let's see. We can Komorebi stop. We can just install, and let's see what breaks. Let's see what breaks. I mean, yeah. This is gonna be interesting. You know, I'm still traumatized from dynamic languages where if something compiles, a million things can still be wrong. Yeah, I still have a lot of dynamic programming language trauma. But generally, like 9 times out of 10, if it compiles on a Rust project that I'm working on, yeah, there's very little chance that I've introduced a logic error when something compiles in Rust. Because things that would have been logic errors also tend to get picked up by the tooling, by Clippy, by the compiler, which is what makes this such a pleasant language to work in. All right, let's hit start. Okay, that was managed correctly. Let's okay, multiple windows, minimize that. Yeah, that looks good. That looks very good. We can take a look at the Komorebi C state. So float identifiers are now ID with identifier. They all have the matching strategy. Manage identifiers are the same. Layered whitelist is also the same. Tray and multi-window. Yep, that's all looking good to me. Yeah. Wait. Did I just see Armored Core in here? Arm Cord. No, this is not Armored Core. This is Arm Cord. This is something completely different. Been playing too much Armored Core recently. Such a great game, Armored Core 6. I'm doing a Let's Play on the channel. I highly recommend you check it out if you are at all interested in mecha anything. Mecha anime, Gundams, mecha games, all of this stuff. Okay, so water overflow is also looking good. And so I did something here last time, right, to check. What is it that we targeted? We targeted something with force, the Galaxy client, right? And so we added matching strategy regex, and then we turned this exe into a regex. So let's stop and start again and have a look at the state. So this has border overflow, force, and tray and multi-window. Border overflow. There it is. Nice. Tray and multi-window. Oh, it's gonna be way down, isn't it? E, F, G. Oh, different order. Oh, it's a hash map. It doesn't have a fixed order. Well, oh, I can search. What am I doing? Galaxy client. Yes. Galaxy client. Yes, at the bottom. Yeah. So that's all looking pretty good. Yeah, I think we can call it a day on this. So we'll just we'll run a thumbed. Make sure that Clippy is also happy with us one last time. And then we can take a look through the change set. So we add the regex crate as a dependency. Ooh, wait, I want to take out all of those done references. They don't look nice. Yeah. Okay, now let's try that again. Yeah, okay, we'll add these in. Generated stuff from the latest version. Okay, so we have the regex dependency. We have this new should act function that is getting called into the border. Regex identifiers. So should expand border is now being handled by should act. I'm okay with that. These are all the changes that we made in main. All looking good. When we get a manage rule, we push to manage identifiers, and we set the matching strategy to legacy by default. Layered application pushes to the layered applications vec. Yep. Process event. I think this is for hide, right? So yeah, we tested that out. That worked as expected. In static config, we pulled in regex identifiers. Tray and multi-window, border overflow, that looks good. Mutable entries. Yep, that looks right. We're just adding in the compiled regexes to the lookup table. Yep. Which file is this in? I think this is in window. Yep, it's a method on self of window. Should remove border, cool. Allow layered, right? And then this is the should act function that we extracted out. These are all of the changes to the state, so they have all been migrated. This is in window manager event. Should trigger event, yeah. Sweet, sweet. Let me just take a quick look at the git log. You know, why didn't I get this up here so that I can refer back to it while I write the next commit. You know what, you guys, you don't have to sit here and watch me write the commit. I can do that offline. Yeah, this is the end of the road to regex rule matching series, the 3-part series. I will go away and think a little bit about how we want to handle this with the Komorebi C commands, how to propagate that also with the auto hotkey. There's a lot of stuff to think about, which I will be thinking about. But in any case, thank you so much for watching all 3 of these episodes, installments, whatever you want to call them. Thank you so much. It was tough, but we got there. Before I go, I would like to give a very big shout out and thank you to Michael, Timothy, Leandro, Maxwell, Gustavo, Solomon, Alex, Evan, Julian, and Hisayuki for being sponsors of this project. If you too would like to sponsor the project, head over to the repository, hit either this sponsor button or this sponsor button, and it will take you to this page where you can select either one-time or monthly sponsorship. Even if it's just $1 a month, it makes a very big difference to me, and I appreciate it so much. If you're not in a position to be a sponsor, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. You're probably already watching this video on YouTube, so just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We are at 555. That is 1 more subscriber since I started recording this video, and I think it looks like a fortuitous number, so please do subscribe. As I mentioned, playing Armored Core, but mainly we have a lot of Komorebi related tutorials and development videos. That is it. It is time to say goodbye. So I hope that whatever you all do today, you all have a great day. And I hope to see you all back here next time for some more work on Komorebi. Goodbye for now.